I'd just like to inform the Governing Council, thanks to Professor Sahasrabuddhe, as well as thanks to Dr. Buddha, 800 AICTE institutions are actually connected on this particular part of today's program. As you all know, that the power of disruptive technologies has changed the way we live, learn, and work. And towards that end, to address the current and future industry requirements of Industry 4.0, FutureSkills Prime has been launched, which is the first of its kind public-private partnership. The aim of this particular program has got a focused goal to create widespread awareness among citizens regarding new digital technologies that are critical to succeed and help individuals in the present and future so that job seekers and both job creators can be equally benefited. This FutureSkills Prime program provides free access to all Indian citizens, and it is offering both free as well as deeply discounted content programs on 10 technologies, 155 skills, which presently translates to about 11 courses and 152 pathways on the platform. With this, we had, as is earlier said by Amit, that we have had the B2B in 2018, and it has been a roaring success. And in this next avatar of phase 2, where we have the mighty Nasscom B2C initiative coming forth, I would now invite Professor Sahasrabuddhe to unveil the AICTE and ITITS Sector Skill Council partnership in collaborating to transform India's talent story. Professor Sahasrabuddhe, I kindly invite you now to actually speak a few words from your end regarding this partnership between both Nasscom and ITITS Sector Skill Council and AICTE. Thank you so much. Over to you, Professor Sahasrabuddhe.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Sandhya and Amit, for this engagement between AICTE and Nasscom. Of course, we are going to have Honorable Minister from Madhya Pradesh, Yashodhara Raja Scindia, in a half an hour's time, and Mrs. Debajani Ghosh, Mr. Praveen Rao, and all others who are there on the platform here, Mr. Ram, Rekha, Mohit, Rahul. I will not name everyone, but it's a very exciting time. AICTE for the last 3 years has been engaging with industry in trying to get internships as many as possible, and there was a limited success. These associations with whether it is Nasscom, CII, FICCI have really helped us in growing forward in terms of internships on one side. And this Future Skills program, which I'm aware Sandhya and me were meeting at Bhubaneswar and many other places, we were discussing this issue. And this was sort of work in progress. And finally, it has the blessings of MeitY, it has the blessings of NSDC, and I'm sure many B2B to B2C, all of them are going to be engaged in the future. And you're talking about Ram, whether it is ICT Academy in Chennai or EPSI, all of them are working with AICTE all the time. But more important, a single mail from AICTE's address to all the 10,000 plus institutions in the country, immediately there will be huge response. Today, we are already tweeting this particular association between Nasscom and AICTE in terms of Future Skills Prime, and which is all available for students. So naturally, you will see the hit rate, which will increase tremendously within few hours from now on. I think that is what the strength of a regulatory body does exist. This digital 101 industry curated content, which is very significant and important from point of view of not merely employability, but also employment generation, because many of these students who take these courses are likely to become entrepreneurs. They will create their startups. And that's how this digital transformation of India, the talent story of India, which we are unveiling today, will not only make India, digital India, which our Prime Minister quite often talks about, digital India, but it will become empowered India, it will become entrepreneurial India, it will become developed India, it will become smart India, and Atmanirbhar Bharat, which also our Prime Minister these days is often talking about, replacing some of the technologies which we are receiving from the West and develop them in-house in India, and then trying to export also to the other countries. I think all of that is possible. We have had our own interactions with independently Microsoft as well as Amazon. We also had with Adobe, we have Cisco, and similarly Nasscom also has these engagements. And I'm sure only last week we had a similar program launched from AICTE and Microsoft for training of students in different areas and domains, which is again future skills. I think future skills ranging from data science, AI, IoT, machine learning, 3D printing, robotics, augmented reality, virtual reality, cloud computing, cyber security. I think these are fundamental, and therefore the Nasscom earlier person who is associated also with CII, Dr. Mohan Reddy, under his leadership, we had a committee which advocated that no new engineering colleges should be approved, and only existing colleges, if they want to expand their base in terms of new programs, we should allow only in these 9 emerging technology areas. And these are precisely the same. And these 9 emerging areas also are not stagnant. Every day something new happens. And that's why connecting with industry, connecting with universities where research is happening is very significant and important. And whatever little we are doing through Atal Academy, in fact, for your information, in the last meeting I also had told you that during pandemic, in the last 7-8 months, through nearly 565 programs, we have trained 85,000 faculty members in these 9 emerging areas. And another 400 odd programs are lined up, and training of another 70,000 faculty is in the pipeline. So that means in just about a year's time, 1.5 lakh faculty being trained, whereas in the last year, in the face-to-face mode, we were able to reach only 10,000. So I think the power of technology is very visible here. And whether it is approval process, whether it is internships, whether it is faculty development programs, and now the online classes which are going on. I think all of them are significant and important, and we were lucky that Ministry of Education now, and formerly MHRD, gave the responsibility of creating the first India's indigenous MOOCs platform, SWAYAM. And we have had now more than 2,500 courses, 1.2 crore students watching them, and not just India, but 112 countries. We're talking about the Microsoft program and some of the programs of FutureSkills being used by the South Africa and many other Asian countries, but SWAYAM is being used by 114 countries. I think there is a power of our Indian diaspora, wherever they are there. They are also helping us in different ways, and the strength of SWAYAM is also increasing day after day. And Chandrasekhar Buddha, who is here, he himself is an AI and data science man, having worked for quite some time in US, and he's on secondment in AICTE, and he drives the entire initiative of developing different platforms for AICTE and using all interns. Most important thing is they're not regular employees. Second year, third year undergrad students from different parts of the country, they're all onboarded, and day in and day out, they keep on churning out some of the interesting applications. Now, one of the finest things he has done recently, which is yet to be having some more tweaking is required in that, is about the auto translation of SWAYAM courses and NPTEL courses into 8 different Indian languages. Today in the national education policy, we are talking about education being given in the mother tongue, not just in the school education, but even in higher education, in engineering education, in medicine. Unless there are reading materials, books available in these languages, it's very difficult to teach students. And that's why this translation is going to be very significant. All the MOOC courses are likely to be easily translated using this automated tool. I think it also converts the formula and the figures which are there in the English text into these 8 languages in Tamil, Malayalam, Telugu, Kannada, Marathi, Gujarati, Bengali. I think this is a power of technology, of using AI embedded system, and in turn converting that into educational content. I think that is where, of course, Hindi is the most important thing, which also is being done, and how between one language to the other language also we can convert this textbook. Some of these things are going to be very, very useful in the future, especially in the COVID times when students are not in a position to go to the institution. Till we open up, just before this program started, informally we were talking about the flights being cancelled between UK and India and how people are getting affected. Children who are studying there can't come back here, nor our children who have come back to vacation or somewhere are not able to return. I think therefore study in India and studying online is going to become order of the day. And that is where I appeal to the industry body, that is Nasscom, to ask all your members, that they should provide as many internships as possible. Because when we say that students are not employable because they don't have hard skills or the soft skills, I think who is responsible? Both are responsible. Academic institutions have a role to play to give something which they can offer in the campuses, but there is a responsibility on the industry also to provide that opportunity to students to learn firsthand that experiential learning. And unless we work together, and therefore not just industry institute interaction, I often use the word, it is not even collaboration, we should say, talk about partnership. We are both partners in crime if we don't do that. And that's why I think we need to expand our base. And if we do that, India will transform. And then in turn, we will be able to provide something to the entire globe, forget about only for India. Thank you very much. Namaskar.